Hey guys, welcome back to Sudoku Maniacs. Now today we are going to have a look at how do we solve a coded Sudoku. Basically the rules of classic Sudoku apply, and additionally you will find some letters in the grid. Now when you're looking at this image, I would suggest you just focus on the grid and ignore the top part where I have written a random letters there. I'll explain what that is later on. So these letters are nothing but code for certain digits. Each letter signifies or denotes a different digit. So basically, no two letters can refer to the same digit. So each letter is a separate digit altogether. Now, this Sudoku was especially created for Sudoku maniacs by Tavan Sunatwanechkul of Thailand, who is a renowned author in the world. But more than that, he is a wonderful personal friend. I have known him for more than a decade. We used to have lovely competitions at the World Championships and also when I used to visit Bangkok for the Brands International Sudoku Open Challenge. I know I stopped participating about 5 to 7 years ago, but that has not stopped us keeping in touch. The competition was healthy. The competition was fierce, I would say, but then it was only rivaled by our bonhomie outside the solving area. So once again, thanks a lot, Tawan. I loved solving it, and I thought this is a perfect example to give you all insights into how do we solve a coded Sudoku. Now, like any variant, I always keep on harping. We need to start a variant like a classic Sudoku. And coming back to the digits, the top two rows that I have mentioned above the grid. Now, normally when I'm solving a coded Sudoku on paper in competitions, right, what I do is I write the unique letters outside the grid and every possible pencil mark that would fall in a cell which contains that letter, I write, sorry, I write the pencil marks beside the letter outside the grid. This helps me focus. So when I see that there are three places where the letter N is mentioned in this grid, rather than trying to coordinate these three cells, what are the pencil marks they contain, it's easier for me to focus at one place which is right beside the grid. Now since we're doing an online solving here, I created this space on top of the grid. Now in the description I will share the link with you as well, where you can try to solve this online if you wish to, and I will show you how I use the space outside the grid to focus on the puzzle. So coming back, the first thing I notice is there are multiple ones. So by classic rules, I have a 1, 1. This cannot be a 1. So I have a 1 here. Now, 9s. 9 cannot be in column 4 nor in row 3. So technically these are the only two places for the 9. Correct? But the letter, one of the cells is occupied by letter U. But when I look at row 6, the number 9 is already given and I also have the letter U. So obviously I know U cannot contain the digit 9. It cannot refer to digit 9 because then I would be forced to have two nines in row 6. So for sure I know this has to be a 9. And the moment I get this 1919 and I have the 19 present in column 1, I know for sure these two cells become a pair of 19, which means the letter M can only refer to either 1 or a 9. So I simply place these here. So this is how I use the space outside the grid to help me focus on the possibilities for each letter. All right. Now, I'll share another way or another technique I use when I'm solving these. Let's look at this letter A. This A in box, what do you say, 2 cannot be in row 3, right? So it has to be either one of 1 to 9 or this blank cell. It cannot be the same as S and U because no two letters can denote the same number, right? But I already have a pair of 1 9 in box 1, so these two cannot be an A. For the 2, I see that A and 2 are already present in column 6. So obviously even 2 cannot be A. So I know for sure whatever comes in row 2 column 4 has to be the same as A. Alright, so I just mark an A and keep it knowing that this would be the same. Now, when I look, now this 1 9 pair limits the possibility of 4 in box 1 because I already have a 4 in row 1 and column 1. So these 5 cells cannot be a 4, which means the 4 has to be either an A or this. Correct? So I will simply mark the places, which means in box 2, 4 has to be either an A or a U, right? Because it cannot be an S, it cannot be a 2 obviously, but U again shares the column 9 with the letter with the number 4. So obviously I know U can never be a 4, which means this A has to be a 4, right? So let's remove. Now that I know A is 4, wherever A is present, I can place a 4. And here I know 4 is taken care of. Because now when you look at all these letters, there are 9 letters, right? And if each letter is a different number, it means I am covering all the numbers 1 to 9. So technically speaking, the individual instance of all these letters, one instance, forms an extra region of 1 to 9. And that is why this will be helpful to us, which we will see down the line. So 4, 4, 4. This is a 4, 4. 4 has to be in one of these two because again since A is a 4, N cannot be a 4. This becomes a 4 because we already got the 4 in row 6. Similarly 4, 4. 4 will be here. K cannot be a 4. And this is a 4 and we wrap up all the 4s. Alright. Now, how do we proceed further? Let's look at the possibilities for S. I can't have a 1, 2, 3 or a 4 for the S, right? I have another S here. 5 cannot be an S, 6 cannot be an S, 9 cannot be an S. So which means S has to be either a 7 or an 8, which we mark a pencil mark and we put a reminder there. So that I know the moment I finalize one number for the letter S, at all the instances of S, I can replace it rather than trying to focus on two different cells. Let's look at U. 1 and 2 is not possible. 3 is possible. 4 not possible. 5 is possible. Sorry, not here. Let's take the, or rather put it here. 5. 6 is not possible. 7 and 8 is possible. Yes, for this U as well. 9 is not possible. Okay, so I know it's 3, 5, 7, 8. So now it's easier for me to plug it in. Next, N's. I have multiple N's. So let's see. I can't have a 1, 2. I can't have a 3, 4 or a 5 for the N. 6 is possible. 7, 8 cannot be an N. 9 also cannot be an N. So I know that's a naked single N is a 6. Awesome. So we get this. 6, 6. This is my 6. 6, 6 has to be, oh, this is a 6, right? So this becomes a 6. 1, 1. And this becomes a 1. 1 cannot be here. Great. So I got two numbers with the two codes and we have filled that up. So now here I have 3, 5, 7, 8 left. D also has to be 3, 5, 7, 8, right? And D becomes 3, 5, 7, 8. Now if I look at the first three letters here, S, U, D, they're all forming a quadruplet of 3, 5, 7, 8. But for a quadruplet, I'll require a fourth instance as well. So let's wait and see how we can go forward. For O, I can't have a 1, 2, 3, 4. No. 5 is possible. 6 is not possible. 7, 8, 9. All right, so let's place that. Now K and C are missing. K would be 1, 2, 3 is possible, 4 no, 5 is possible, 6 yes, 7, 8. Awesome. Now, and final C. I can have 1, I can't have a 1, sorry. 2, sorry. 2 is possible, 3, 4 is a no, 5 is a yes, 6 is a no, 7, 8, 9. Right. Now we have the pencil marks for all these. So let's fill up this also. Now comes the corruption. Now, if you remember, I just said these 9 letters form an extra region. So when I look at it, there are two ways I can use these codes now. First is M is the only place where the possibility of 1 is available, right? Because none of the other letters can have a 1. So that becomes my hidden single because I require that number 1 to relate to a letter. Similarly, C is the only place where the possibility of 2 is available. So I know for sure C is a 2. But this is the way this is how I'm using the hidden single for the numbers with the letters. The other way, if you remember, I was speaking about 3, 5, 7, 8, 7, 8, 3, 5, 7, 8. So these four letters, S, U, D, and K, form a quadruplet. So I know for sure these four letters will always denote 3, 5, 7, 8, which means the other letters cannot have 5, 7, and 8. So for O, I can remove the 5, 7, and 8 and make this a 9. Right? M was a 1, and again C was a 2. So using this, it has helped me eliminate the possibilities. M is a 1, this is a 9. So by classic rules, 1, 1, I have wrapped up the ones, 9, 9. This is a 9, 9. This can't be a 9, that's a 9, and this is a 9, right? 2. In box 8, 2 cannot be in these 3 cells because I already got the 2 in column 6 and row 7. So the 2 has to be in these, which makes this a, sorry, this is becomes a 2 with a 6 here, right? 2, 2, 2. This becomes a 2 by classic rules. That's a 2. And this would be a pencil mark for a 2. Now I got a 7 here, so obviously D cannot be a 7. So I can eliminate the 7 from the D. Now 6, 6. Never forget the classic rules. This has to be a 6. Now the missing 3 numbers in row 1 are 5, 7, and 8. So with a 5 here, this also has to be a 7, correct? Which makes it a pair of 7, 8 here. So this has to be a 5. I can eliminate the 5 from D as well, which makes it a 3, 8 pair. So I have a 5. This is a 5 with a 7 here. So with the 7, U cannot be a 7. I can eliminate it. 7, 8, 3, 7, and 8. Okay, but this 8 cannot be here. So for box 1, this has to be an 8, which makes S as a 7. Right? S is a 7, which makes this a 7. 6, 6. This is a 6 by classic rules. Also, K cannot be a 7. So this is a 7 by classic rules because the 7 cannot be here. Neither is U a 7. 7, 7. Okay. This is not 7. 2 places for 7. We'll leave it at that. What now? So this is a 3, 7 pair. 3, 5, 8. 3, 5, 8. D is a 3, 8. Now, by classic rules, this is not a 3, this is not a 3, so this becomes a 3. So I know for sure U is not a 3. So let's remove that possibility, which means the 3 for box 2 is logged in row 3. So this has to be a 7, and this becomes my 3. This is again a 5, 8. So this becomes a 7 by classic rules because this also cannot be a 7. So this is another 5, 8. 6. Okay, K cannot be a 5 again because we already got this. So K is a 3-8, U is a, sorry, D is a 3-8, which forms a pair in that extra region of the letters, right? So for sure, U has to be a 5. So that is an 8, 5. This is a 3-8, 5, 5. This is a 5. This is a 5, which makes this a 2 and a 2. This is again a 3-8, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. This is again a 3-8 and a 3-8. But I already have a 3 in column 7, so this is an 8 with a 3, 8, 3. So now I know for sure D is a 8, so K has to be a 3. Oh, sorry, 8, 3, 8, 3, 8, 8, 3, and this is the final 5. That's right, the system says the solution is correct. Such a beautiful puzzle that explains how we use our pairs, triplets, quadruplets, even outside the grid, creating a separate extra region outside the grid. Beautiful, beautiful puzzle. Thanks a ton, Tawan. This was really, really a wonderful puzzle. And for those people who will try this Sudoku online on the link that I gave, now the system will tell you that the solution is correct only if you have entered. Unfortunately, that's the limitation of the, what do you say, this online solving tool. So even if you solve the Sudoku without using the extra region outside, it's perfectly fine. But then do not get surprised if the solution does not give you the correct solution prompt. If the tool does not give you the correct solution prompt. So what I would suggest is once you have filled in the grid, just to make sure your solution is correct, write down the numbers for each letter on the top and the system will tell you. Do let us know in the comments what you think of this Sudoku. What do you think of the beauty of the puzzle that has been created by Tawan? Because I'm sure even Tawan would be eager to hear the feedback on his puzzle. And I will put in the address to Tawan's blog as well in the description. So do go out and check his other creations as well. I'm telling you, this is not going to be a waste of time. It will be worth the effort. So once again, till the next time, happy solving.